Eleanor, thank you so much. How beautiful she, inside and out. So much courage. Lihi Lapeeb, I've said it before and I will say it again. We, on a day-to-day basis, we have very different lives. We probably vote differently, and we are probably observe the Shabbat in a different way. But you are my sister, Lihi. You're my sister. And we're going to take you up on your desire to join us. So next year, and we know announced that there are women here who came on the trip from the United States and Canada and St. Petersburg, but don't forget our Israelis. So, as most of you know, I did grow up in Canada, and I met my husband here in Israel. He's American, actually we have a mixed marriage. My husband is, and I want to acknowledge publicly, I couldn't do any of this without my husband. My husband is a very, very great man, a very great man. And he is so supportive, and he pulled back from everything he was doing as the JWRP took off so that this could all happen. So for all of us, whether it's your husband or your mother or your mother-in-law or your friends who helped support you to get on the planes and took care of all those kids back there, let's give all of them. And we acknowledge many times all the people who did so much throughout this trip. And we talked about our city leaders and our Madrikim. But there are women here also who played a very special role. And that's the Madrikot, the women who came before and came back as leaders. I want to thank the Madrikot so much. Because that's part of what the JWRP is about, that we're trying to build leadership. We can't do this alone. And my husband always says, the job is too great to leave to rabbis. Right? We need every person, every person. So my husband and I, we met here, and we got married in Toronto, and we moved back to Israel forever. Well, 4.5 months into forever, God had a different plan. And we ended up back in Toronto. We were there for 13 years, and we moved to the States. But while we were there in Toronto, we had many guests for Shabbat, and a lot of singles and going through their journey. And we had this one guy who came to us for Shabbat, and he found out my maiden name, and he said, you know, I'll go to this other guy's house for Shabbat. I think he's your cousin. I said, if you're going to a guy's house for Shabbat, he ain't my cousin, okay? This return to Jewish tradition is a phenomenon that happened in my nuclear family. All my cousins sort of floated away Jewishly. And he would go to this guy's house for Shabbat and say, you know, I go to this rabbi's house for Shabbat. I think his wife is your cousin. And this guy said, if you're going to a rabbi's house for Shabbat, his wife is not my cousin. This guy finally got so frustrated, he invited us both out for kosher Chinese food. We played Jewish geography. It turns out the guy's my cousin. He's my father's first cousin's son. His name is Jack Samuels. And we were so excited to meet each other. Because when you're on your Jewish journey, sometimes you feel so alone. If you find out your hairdressers, mailman, daughter, Shomer Shabbat, Mishpacha, come to my okay? So we found out I had a blood cousin who also had this Jewish journey. We were so excited to meet each other. And he's a writer, and I'm a writer, and he's a public speaker, and I'm a public speaker. And he told me, this guy's into the family tree, I don't know who's who, but he knows. And he told me the story of our mutual great-grandmother, my father's mother's mother, back in Luhansk, Poland. How many people here are descended from people from Poland? So the story goes in the family that there was one rabbi in the town who taught the children Torah. There was one Rebbe. And the Rebbe kept saying to the townspeople, you're not paying me enough to live. If you don't pay me more, I'm sorry, I have to go. So either they didn't take him seriously enough, or they didn't have the funds. And the story goes that one day he put his possessions in a car, hitched up the horses, and said, I'm out of here. And our mutual great-grandmother lay down in front of the horses and said, if our children cannot learn Torah, I don't want to live to see such a world. And it moved the Rebbe so much, and it moved the townspeople so much, that somehow they got it together and he stayed. So when my cousin Jack was on his Jewish journey, he told this story to his rabbi. And the rabbi said, Jack, in the merit of that tzedekah, in the merit of that righteous woman, you came back to Torah and mitzvot. And he said, but Rabbi, if she was so great, how come I'm the only one in my entire family who ever came back? Then he met me and my husband and my kids and my sister and her husband and their kids and my brother and his wife and their kids who now live in Israel. I went to my father the next night. I said, Dad, how come you never told me your cousin's son Jack is Shomer Shabbat? I just met him last night. He goes, I don't know, I never thought to tell you. I said, Dad, he told me this unbelievable story about your grandmother in Poland. And I told him the story, and he said, yeah, I grew up knowing that story. But Dad, how come you never told me that story? Because again, I never thought to tell you. Then he thought for a moment. He says, you know what? You're named after her. Ladies, we're all sitting here as Jewish women because our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, and all the women back for generations to the time of the Torah who lived to be Jews, and some of them died to be Jews, so we could be here today in Israel. Ladies, we're part of this incredible long chain of Jewish tradition. But a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. This week, we took this chain that got a little bit rusty the last couple generations. We picked it up together. We polished it. And we strengthened it. Every trip is special. This one was off the charts. This one, there's no words to describe this trip to people. The only bad thing about this trip is you can't describe it. This trip, that you came at this time. People told me, oh, you're going to have to cancel. And my team, and I'm telling you, and everybody gives me a lot of nice accolades. I have the most unbelievable team back home. I'm forward to that place that they work so hard. And they told me, Lori, if one person goes, the trip is on. So there were 400 of you who were supposed to come. How many of you were on the conference call that we had to try to hold on to you and to explain to you the security that we're increasing and all the trip? And out of 400 women, 198 of you were on that call. It was 5 o'clock in the morning here in Israel. I just had yesterday the phone call with the 200 women who are coming on Monday. You know how many people went on that call? 13. You know why? Because they're following this trend. They're watching those videos. You blew this country away. How many Israelis came up to you thanking you? And you were so incredible as representatives of the Jews of the diaspora. One of you told me that there was a woman here who was in a store and a soldier was buying some food, and one of us stepped up and said, no, I'm paying. You paid for the soldier's food. And we told you that every dollar you spend here is a mitzvah. You did a lot of mitzvah. Good job. As the store owners are hurting, the restaurant owners are hurting, the hotels, one of the guards told the Madrid to tell me, Thank you so much. People are canceling, so we're not working. But you came so we could work. You gave this country so much strength. They saw you walking and we were there and we were filling and they couldn't believe you were here. We are so proud of you. You are incredible women, and we poured our hearts and souls into you, and it was our pleasure. Ladies, you're about to get on planes. Some of you tonight, and some of you tomorrow night. You're going back different people. You're going back better people. It's a privilege. I can't thank you enough for giving us, and for me personally, the opportunity to be here and to be here with you. It was an honor and a privilege to be part of your journey. The last day of the trip is the first day of your journey. We've pointed you in the right direction. Be strong, ladies. Be that strong link in that chain. We are incredible women, and we, together, can change the world. Thank you.